And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full.
A musical journey.
I traveled each and every highway.
A musical journey with Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, Ludwig van Beethoven, Stephen Collins, Foster L. Jolson, Irving Berlin, Jerome Kern, the big bands Bing Crosby, Frank Sinatra, of course the King Elvis Presley, and the many women singers and composers over the years.
Today, we will look at the life and music of one of the most popular singers of all time, Frank Sinatra. Dr. Sidney Soclof. DrSydney22@gmail.com. 2025.
Welcome. I am Dr. Sidney Soclof. I will be presenting this lecture together with two of my esteemed colleagues, Professor Nathan Koltov and Dr. Zoe Phonemes. I hope that you will learn a lot from it.
Hello. I am Professor Nathan Koltov. I am a Gator from Gainesville, Florida, and I am happy to join with my colleague, Dr. Zoe Phonemes, in bringing you this interesting presentation.
Hey there. I am Dr. Zoe Phonemes. And I'm a proud Texan from the East Texas town of Tyler. I am delighted to present this informative talk together with my colleague Professor Nathan Koltov. I really hope that you will like it. And remember, don't mess with Texas.
So get comfortable and now let's get the show on the road.
Table of Contents: Frank Sinatra, his life and music. We will look at the life and music of one of the most popular singers of all time, Frank Sinatra.
Francis Albert Sinatra was born on December 12, 1915 in an upstairs tenement at 415 Monroe Street in Hoboken, New Jersey.
He was the only child of Italian immigrants Natalina Dolly Garaventa and Antonino Martino Marti Sinatra. Hoboken is in northern New Jersey, but is right across the Hudson River from Manhattan. So it basically is part of the greater New York City area. Sinatra developed an interest in music, particularly big band jazz, from a young age, and became addicted to listening to the radio, entranced by the new musical and comedy routines, and captivated by the huge audiences they commanded.
He began singing at a young age, sitting on top of the piano at his parents' bar in Hoboken, Marty's O'Brien's. His mother, Dolly, was not enthusiastic at the idea of her son becoming a singer, but she realized when Sinatra was as young as 11, he had something. Sinatra later recalled, "One day, I got a nickel. I said, 'This is the racket.' I thought, 'It's wonderful to sing.' I never forgot it." During his early teenage years, Sinatra forced himself to develop his voice, wanting to make something of himself. He listened heavily to Gene Austin, Rudy Vallee, Russ Colombo and Bob Eberly, and idolized Bing Crosby, adopting Crosby's props such as a sailor's cap and pipe in his own performances. He got his first break in 1935 when his mother persuaded a local singing group called the Three Flashes to let him join. With Sinatra, the group became known as the Hoboken Four and passed an audition from Edward Bowes to appear on Major Bowes' original Amateur Hour.
They each earned $12.50 and ended up attracting 40,000 votes to win first prize, a 6-month contract to perform on stage and radio across the U.S. Sinatra quickly became the group's lead singer.
This is Sinatra, Far Right, with the Hoboken Four on Major Bowes' Amateur Hour in 1935.
Sinatra has been called Old Blue Eyes, the voice and chairman of the board, but back home in Hoboken, he's still simply Frankie. In 1938, Sinatra found employment as a singing waiter at a roadhouse called the Rustic Cabin in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, for which he was paid $15 a week. The roadhouse was connected to the WNEW radio station in New York City, and Sinatra began performing with a group live during the Dance Parade show. Despite the low salary, he felt that this was the break he was looking for and boasted to friends that he was going to become so big that no one could ever touch him.
This is Frank Sinatra at the Rustic Cabin in 1938 performing with Bill Henry's band. Sinatra worked for the restaurant as an MC, so he sang with whatever band played an engagement at the Rustic Cabin. Between 1937 and 1939, if you dined at a place called the Rustic Cabin in Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, you might have been entertained by a skinny young singer named Frank Sinatra of Hoboken. He also emceed the night's entertainment and even waited on tables. It was Frank Sinatra's first professional singing job, and a bonus was the exposure of being heard on the regular radio broadcast from the Rustic Cabin over WNEW radio in New York.
This is Frank Sinatra at the Rustic Cabin in 1938.
It was on one of those broadcasts that band leader Harry James heard Frank singing and decided to hire him to sing with the Harry James Orchestra.
Vocalist Frank Sinatra made his first studio recordings on July 13, 1939 with a band led by the man who gave him his first real break in show business, trumpeter Harry James. The Sinatra of 1939 was a 23-year-old wonder, whose marvelous voice was not yet saturated with the singer's notorious latter-day swagger.
This is Sinatra performing with Harry James at the Hollywood Canteen in 1943.
Sinatra became increasingly frustrated with his status in the Harry James Band, feeling that he was not achieving the major success and acclaim he was looking for. In November 1939, Harry James released Sinatra from his contract, and he left the Harry James Band to become the lead singer of the Tommy Dorsey Band. Sinatra earned $125 a week, appearing at the Palmer House in Chicago.
On January 26, 1940, Frank Sinatra made his first public appearance with the Tommy Dorsey Band at the Coronado Theater in Rockford, Illinois, opening the show with Stardust.
Sinatra and Tommy Dorsey in Ship Ahoy, 1942. Dorsey recalled, "You could almost feel the excitement coming up out of the crowds when the kid stood up to sing. Remember, he was no matinee idol. He was just a skinny kid with big ears. I used to stand there so amazed I'd almost forget to take my own solos." We will next hear Frank Sinatra singing Stardust with the Tommy Dorsey Band.
Sometimes I wonder why I spend the lonely nights dreaming of a song, the melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again with you. When our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. But that was long ago, and now my consolation lies in the stardust of a song beside a garden wall when the stars were bright. You were in my arms, the nightingale told his fairy tale of paradise where roses grew. Though I dream in vain, in my heart it always will remain. My stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain. My stardust melody, the memory of love's refrain.
In his first year with Dorsey, Sinatra recorded more than 40 songs. His first on the first officially published Billboard chart was I'll Never Smile Again, topping the charts for 12 weeks.
We will next hear Frank Sinatra singing I'll Never Smile Again with Joe Stafford and the Pied Pipers.
Again, until I smile at you, I'll never laugh again. What good would it do? For tears would fill my eyes, my heart would realize that I'm romantic. Within my heart, I know I will never start to smile again until I smile at you. Until I smile at you.
In 1942, Sinatra recorded Night and Day, the night we called it a day. The song is You, and Lamplight as Serenade at a Bluebird recording session. Sinatra was astounded at how good he sounded. He just couldn't believe his ears. He was so excited you almost believed he had never recorded before. I think this was a turning point in his career. I think he began to see what he might do on his own.
After the 1942 recordings, Sinatra believed he needed to go solo, with a desire to compete with Bing Crosby, but he was hampered by his contract, which gave Dorsey 43% of Sinatra's lifetime earnings. A legal battle ensued, eventually settled in August 1942. Dorsey and Sinatra, who had been very close, never reconciled their differences.
By May 1941, Sinatra topped the Malle Singer polls in Billboard and Downbeat magazines. His appeal to Bobby Soxers, as teenage girls of that time were called, revealed a new audience for popular music, which had previously been recorded mainly for adults.
The phenomenon became officially known as Sinatramania after his legendary opening at the Paramount Theater in New York on December 30, 1942.
He became known as Swinatra or The Voice, and his fans Sinatratics. They organized meetings and sent masses of letters of adoration. And within a few weeks of the show, some 1,000 Sinatra fan clubs had been reported across the U.S.
This is Frank Sinatra standing with a gaggle of adoring lady fans in Pasadena, California on August 11, 1943, a few days ahead of his concert performance at the Hollywood Bowl.
When Sinatra returned to the Paramount in October 1944, only 250 persons left the first show, and 35,000 fans left outside, causing a near riot, known as the Columbus Day Riot, outside the venue because they were not allowed in. Such was the Bobby Soxer devotion to Sinatra that they were known to write Sinatra's song titles on their clothing, bribe hotel maids for an opportunity to touch his bed, and steal clothing he was wearing.
Sinatra did not serve in the military during World War II. On December 11, 1943, He was officially classified for F registrant not acceptable for military service by his draft board because of his perforated eardrum.
Sinatra worked frequently with the popular Andrews Sisters in radio in the 1940s, and many USO shows were broadcast to troops via the Armed Forces Radio Service, AFRS.
And now here's a great musical aggregation, Harry James and his boys. And also a fellow that used to work with him, Mr. Swoon himself, the old calypso singer, Frank Sinatra.
Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week, 'cause that's the night that my sweetie and I used to dance cheek to cheek. I don't mind Sunday night at all, 'cause that's the night friends come to call. And Monday to Friday go fast, and another week is past. Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week. I sing the song that I sang for the memories I usually see, until I hear you at the door, until you're in my arms once more. Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week. Until I hear you at the door, until you're in my arms once more. Saturday night is the loneliest night of the week.
Thank you, Frankie. Thank you. Just lie down there any place. That was B2 Sinatra, folks. The only singer that has given Crosby any competition since Jenny Lind.
Toward the end of the war, Sinatra entertained the troops during several successful overseas USO tours with comedian Phil Silvers. Sinatra in November 1950. Frank Sinatra, Marriages and Family.
Frank Sinatra had 4 marriages. Sinatra was married to Nancy Sinatra, née Barbato, from 1939 to 1951. The couple had 3 children. Nancy, born 1940. Frank Jr., 1944 to 2016. And Tina, born 1948.
Sinatra was married to Hollywood actress Ava Gardner from 1951 to 1957. It was a turbulent marriage with many well-publicized fights and altercations.
Sinatra and Mia Farrow were married on July 19, 1966, and the couple divorced in Mexico in August 1968. They remained close friends for life.
Sinatra was married to Barbara Marx from 1976 until his death in 1998.
Frank Sinatra was 19 years old when he first met Nancy Barbato, 1917 to 2018, in the summer of 1934.
Frank and Nancy Barbato married on February 4, 1939. In nearby Jersey City, New Jersey, Barbato's hometown. The marriage would last 22 years, from 1939 to 1951, and produce 3 children.
Their first child, Nancy Sinatra, was born in 1940, and their son, Francis Wayne Sinatra, known as Frank Sinatra Jr., was born in 1944. Family portrait, 1949. Sinatra with, from left, Nancy, Tina, Nancy Barbato and Frank Jr. Nancy and Frank divorced in 1951 after 22 years of marriage.
Nancy Barbato Sinatra died in 2018 at the age of 101. She never remarried and had outlived not only her ex-husband B5 but also her son Frank Jr., who died in 2016.
This is Ava Gardner, Sinatra's second wife from 1951 to 1957. Sinatra married Ava Gardner in 1951. Following a turbulent marriage, with many well-publicized fights and altercations, the couple separated in 1953, and the divorce was finalized in 1957.
When Mia Farrow and Sinatra met, she was only 19 and he was in his late 40s. At the time, Sinatra was hugely famous for his music and movie career. Farrow was just starting out as an actor and starring on the TV series Peyton Place.
Sinatra married actress Mia Farrow in 1966, when she was 21 and he was 50.
Sinatra and Mia Farrow divorced in Mexico in 1968 after being married for only 2 years.
Sinatra married his fourth wife, Barbara Blakely Marx, in 1976. She was formerly married to Zeppo Marx, the straight man in the Marx Brothers act. She remained his wife for his last 22 years until his death in 1998.
Her relations with Sinatra's children were consistently portrayed as stormy, something Nancy Sinatra confirmed when she publicly claimed that Barbara had not bothered to call Frank's children, even when the end was near, although they were close by, and the children missed the opportunity to be at their father's bedside when he died. Barbara Marx Sinatra died in 2017 at the age of 90.
The Rat Pack was an informal group of singers that made films and appeared together in Las Vegas casino venues.
They originated in the late 1940s and early 1950s as a group of A-list show business friends, such as Errol Flynn, Nat King Cole, Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra and others who met casually at the home of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall.
In the 1960s, the group featured Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford and Joey Bishop.
They appeared together on stage and in films in the 1950s and 1960s, including the films Ocean's 11, Sergeant 3, and Robin and the Seven Hoods with Bing Crosby in what was to have been Lawford's role.
From left to right, Lester, Bishop, Davis, Sinatra, and Martin. Ocean's 11 is a 1960 heist-type film. The film stars an ensemble cast and 5 members of the Rat Pack: Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Sammy Davis Jr., Peter Lawford, and Joey Bishop. Centered on a series of Las Vegas casino robberies, the film also stars Angie Dickinson, Richard Conte, Cesar Romero, Patrice Wymore, Akeem Tamiroff, and Henry Silva. It includes cameo appearances by Shirley MacLaine, Red Skelton, and George Raft. These are the leading characters of Ocean's 11. Note the Rat Pack group of Joey Bishop, Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, and Peter Lawford.
We will now see the trailer for the 1960 movie, Ocean's 11.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Keep your eye on Danny Ocean. He's the quiet guy in the middle of it all. He's the guy with the big idea. He's calling a summit meeting of his own, and it's going to be a summit to top them all. Now, all he needs are 11 men, like, say, 11 ex-paratroopers from his old outfit. And you'd be amazed where you can find an ex-paratrooper these days. You look in a bar, and there's Harmon playing alcoholic piano. Or you turn up DSM winner Josh in a fleet of trash trucks. Jimmy Foster is sure to be wherever there's the most of anything. A guy like Bergdorf's been playing some very long odds. And Mushy's sticking close to the money. But when Danny called, they came. And what they heard was a plan of independent initiative and individual enterprise to stir the spirit of every swinging citizen.
How'd it come off?
Like a charm.
Same here. Fantastic.
Oh, Danny, what a prize you are. The only husband in the world who'd proposition his own wife.
Well, I married you once and it didn't work out too well, so what's wrong with a little hey-hey?
Get her out of here.
Hey, give me a little kiss.
Sound idea. It's constructive.
You wait right there and I'll be there in a minute.
I'll wait for you.
Hello, Sam. How are you?
Oh, same as always. I move, I breathe. I seem to feel the thrill of life along the keel.
You sound like a ferry boat.
I'm not a ferry boat. I'm a very manly sloop. Wherever I go, people stare at me in dumb admiration.
Yeah, what happens when they speak?
What's so funny?
I knew this color would come in handy one day.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
How do you get the stuff off?
Well, what I usually...
During the final years of his life, Sinatra was in ill health and was frequently hospitalized for heart and breathing problems, high blood pressure, pneumonia, and blood cancer. He made no public appearances following a heart attack in February 1997.
On the night of May 141,998, Sinatra died of another heart attack at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles with his wife Barbara at his side. He was 82 years old.
The night after Sinatra's death, the lights on the Empire State Building were turned blue. The lights at the Las Vegas Strip were dimmed in his honor, and the casinos stopped spinning for 1 minute. Significant increases in recording sales worldwide were reported by Billboard in the month of his death. This is Sinatra's grave, as seen in 2004, was next to his parents located at Desert Memorial Park in Cathedral City, California. Gravestone replaced in 2021. Top Sinatra Songs.
Now we will hear Frank Sinatra singing My Way.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my yes, it was my way.
Now we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Strangers in the Night, 1966.
in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people, we were strangers in the night, up to the moment when we said our first hello. Little did we know, love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. And ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever. It turned out so right for strangers in the night. Just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. Ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever. It turned out so right for strangers in the night. Doody-dooby-doo,
Now we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Luck Be a Lady.
They call you Lady Luck, but there is room for a doubt. At times you have a very unladylike way of running out. You're on this date with me. The pickings have been lush, and yet before this evening is over, you might give me the brush. You might forget your manners. You might refuse to stay. And so the best that I can do is pray. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck if you've ever been a lady to begin with. Luck be a lady tonight. Luck let a gentleman see how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Luck be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair. it isn't nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. Let's keep this party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the fella you came in with. Luck be a lady tonight. Let a gentleman see just how nice a dame you can be. I know the way you've treated other guys you've been with. Hey, luck, be a lady with me. A lady doesn't leave her escort. It isn't fair, and it's not nice. A lady doesn't wander all over the room and blow on some other guy's dice. So let's keep the party polite. Never get out of my sight. Stick with me, baby, I'm the guy that you came in with. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady. Luck be a lady.
Now we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Blue Moon.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, you knew just what I was there for. You heard me saying a prayer for someone I really could care for. And then there suddenly appeared before me the only one my arms will hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone, without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. only one my arms will ever hold. I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own. Blue moon, now I'm no longer alone. Without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.
Frank Sinatra. Awards and Legacy. Frank Sinatra is awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Ronald Reagan in 1985.
Sinatra continues to be seen as one of the icons of the 20th century, and has 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame for his work in film and music.
This is the Frank Sinatra Studio recording at 1637 Vine Street on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. This is the Frank Sinatra Studio television at 6538 Hollywood Boulevard on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
This is the Frank Sinatra Star for Motion Pictures at 1600 Vine Street on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
On May 13, 2008, in Las Vegas, Nevada, and New York City, the Postal Service issued a 42-cent Frank Sinatra commemorative stamp with this stamp. The Postal Service honored Frank Sinatra, an Oscar-winning actor and a supreme interpreter of American popular song. A total of 120 million stamps we printed.
This is the Desert Inn, Las Vegas, where Sinatra began performing in 1951.
This is Caesar's Palace in 1970, where Sinatra performed from 1967 to 1970 and from 1973 onwards.
Sinatra signed a $16 million 3-year deal with the Golden Nugget Las Vegas in 1982.
Film career.
Best Supporting Actor 1953, Frank Sinatra in From Here to Eternity. Frank Sinatra won an Oscar for portraying Private Angelo Maggio in From Here to Eternity.
This is Frank Sinatra as Maggio in the 1953 film From Here to Eternity.
The 1953 film, From Here to Eternity.
Next, we will see Frank Sinatra and Ernest Borgnine in the bar fight scene from the 1953 movie, From Here to Eternity.
Who's the broad?
It's my sister.
I'm about to do it again, too.
Well, you dirty wop.
If you all want to fight, take it outside.
I'm gonna cut this wop's heart out. Anybody steps in here, I give it to him first.
One step further, Fatso, and I'm gonna debrain you.
Nobody's gonna do nothing. Anybody does any killing around here, I'll do it.
This is a private affair, Warden.
No, it ain't. This man's in my company. And you ain't making 2 extra weeks paperwork for me for nothing. Out for blood, huh? You'd puke your guts out at the sight of a dead man. Put down that stool. Put it down! Drop that knife. Okay, Fatso. If it's killing you want, come on. Well, come on. On the floor. Killers, huh? I trade the pair of you for a good campfire girl.
Tough monkey. Guys like you end up in the stockade sooner or later. Someday you walk in, I'll be waiting. I'll show you a couple of things.
High Society is a 1956 musical romantic comedy film starring Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, and Frank Sinatra with music and lyrics by Cole Porter. The film was Grace Kelly's last professional appearance before she married Prince Rainier III and became Princess Consort of Monaco.
This is Grace Kelly and Frank Sinatra, stars of the movie High Society.
1949 musical film and stars Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, Betty Garrett, and Ann Miller, and features Jules Munshin and Vera Ellen. We will now see a clip from the 1949 movie On the Town, with Gene Kelly, Jules Munshin, and Frank Sinatra singing New York, New York.
I feel like I'm not out of bed yet. Oh, the sun is warm, but my blanket's warmer. Sleep, sleep in your lady's arms. Sleep in your lady's
New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
Hey, fellas, what's the big rush?
We only got 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never been here before.
What can happen to you in one day? What do you think you're gonna do?
New York, New York, a wonderful town.
Bronx is up and the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
Famous places to visit are so many, so the guidebooks say. I told my grandpa I wouldn't miss on any, and we got just one day. Gotta see the whole town right from Yonkers on down to the Bay. In just one day,
New York, New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
We've been the world over, Maine to Mandalay. We've seen the Sphinx and seen the cliffs of Dover, but we can safely say the most fabulous sight is New York in the light of the day, our only day.
New York, New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
Manhattan women are all in silk and satin, so the fellas say. There's just one thing necessary in Manhattan when you got just one day. Gotta pick up a date, maybe 7 or 8 on your way in just one day.
New York, New York, a wonderful town. The Bronx is up and the battery's down. The people ride in a hole in the ground. New York, New York, it's a wonderful town.
Guys and Dolls is a 1955 musical film starring Marlon Brando, Gene Simmons, Frank Sinatra, and Vivian Blaine. We will now view a clip from the 1955 movie, Guys and Dolls, with Frank Sinatra singing Adelaide.
Speech, Nathan.
Speech.
Here, give us a little speech.
Yeah. Speech.
Unaccustomed as I am to getting married, I am taking this occasion here to say that me and Adelaide are finally naming the day. Though she knows deep in her heart I'm a phony and I'm a fake, she wants 5 children to start. 5's a difficult point to make, but Adelaide, Adelaide, ever-loving Adelaide is taking a chance on me. Taking a chance, I'll be respectable and nice, give up cards and dice, and go for shoes and rice. So gentlemen, deal me out, do not try to feel me out. I got no more evenings free. Since Adelaide, Adelaide, ever-loving Adelaide is taking a chance. Talk about your long shots, taking a chance on me.
Well, my congratulations, too. And I certainly hope there's nothing in heredity.
It might seem unimportant to you on the night before your wedding, but your blintzes are getting cold.
Who cares, as long as Nathan stays hot. Look, don't forget to bring my purse to the hot box. Oh, Nathan, darling, I'm so excited. I don't even want to eat and go back to work. I've got so many things to do before tomorrow night. What about my mother? I've got to write to her. What'll I say?
Send a telegram. Dated back 14 years.
Adelaide, Adelaide,
Never loving Adelaide
is taking a chance on me. Taking a chance, I'll be respectable and nice.
Give up the cards and dice and go for shoes and rice.
So, gentlemen, deal me out. Do not try to feel me out.
You got no more evenings free.
You may scratch me, since Adelaide, ever loving Adelaide, is taking a chance.
Talk about your long shots,
taking a chance on me.
Three Coins in the Fountain is a 1954 romantic comedy drama film. The film's main title song, Three Coins in the Fountain, sung by an uncredited Frank Sinatra, went on to become an enduring standard.
Three coins in the fountain, each one seeking happiness, thrown by three hopeful lovers. Which one will the fountain bless? Three hearts in the fountain, each heart longing for its home. There they lie in the fountain, somewhere in the heart of Rome. Which one will the fountain bless? Which one will the fountain bless? Three coins in the fountain, through the ripples how they shine. Just one wish will be granted, one heart will wear a valentine. Make it mine, make it mine, make it mine. Which one will the fountain bless? Which one will the fountain bless? Three coins in the fountain, through the ripples how they shine. Just one wish will be granted, one heart will wear a valentine. Make it mine, make it mine, make it mine.
Frank Sinatra's radio and television shows. After beginning on the Major Bose Amateur Hour radio show with the Hoboken Four in 1935, and later WNEW in Watt in Jersey City, Sinatra became the star of radio shows of his own on NBC and CBS from the early 1940s to the mid-1950s. Sinatra had a number of radio shows between 1942 and 1954, most of them lasting only about 1 year, some of which were broadcast on CBS, while others were on NBC. Sinatra had a number of radio shows between 1942 and 1954, most of them lasting only about 1 year, some of which were broadcast on CBS, while others were on NBC. We will now hear Frank Sinatra singing "It Had to Be You" on the Frank Sinatra Show in 1951.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around and finally found there's somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, could even be glad just to be sad thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross, try to be boss, they wouldn't do. Nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross or try to be the boss, but they wouldn't do. 'Cause nobody else gave me a thrill. With all your faults, I love you still. It had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you.
Sinatra's second attempt at a television series was The Frank Sinatra Show on ABC, a variety and drama series starring Frank Sinatra, premiering on October 18, 1957, and last airing on June 27, 1958.
Note that Sinatra's first attempt at a television series was on CBS television from 1950 to 1952 and was also called The Frank Sinatra Show.
Sinatra hated rehearsing and tried to make 11 shows in just 15 days. The series received negative reviews and was Sinatra's last attempt at a television series. Next, we will hear "The Girl from Ipanema," sung by Frank Sinatra accompanied by Antonio Carlos Jobim.
You know, Tom has written so many beautiful songs, but I don't think any of them really has ever been requested more than the song that you did on your first appearance with us, "The Girl from Ipanema." Great song. Let's do that. You do it.
linda, mas cheia de graça. Ela, menina que vem e que passa num doce balanço, caminho do mar. Moça do corpo dourado do sol de Ipanema, o seu balançado é mais que um poema, é a coisa mais linda que eu já vi passar.
Oh, but I watch her so sadly. How can I tell her I love her? Yes, I would give my heart gladly, but each day when she walks to the sea, she looks straight ahead, not at me. Tall and Montana, love and lovely little girl from Ipanema goes out, and when she passes, I smile, but she doesn't see. Cause of no, she doesn't see. Cause of she just doesn't see.
Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley shared a stage in March 1960, when All Blue Eyes invited the singer of Blue Suede Shoes onto his show.
They appeared on the Frank Sinatra Timex show, Welcome Home Elvis, which brought America's two most famous singing superstars together in public for the first time. The show was a homecoming celebration, marking Presley's return to the U.S. after 2 years in Germany, serving with the U.S. Army.
We work in the same way, only in different areas. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Those fingers in my hair, why come hither stare? That strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. It's such an ancient pitch, what I would switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than witchcraft. I love you, and I always will. For my darling, I love you. Man, that's pretty. And I always will. We work in the same way, only in different areas. Love me tender, love me sweet, never let me go. You have made my life complete, and I love you so. Those fingers in my hair, why come hither stare? That strips my conscience bare, it's witchcraft. Love me tender, love me true, all my dreams fulfill. For my darling, I love you, and I always will. It's such an ancient pitch, what I would switch, 'cause there's no nicer witch than witchcraft. I love you, and I always will. For my pretty. And I always will.
Frank Sinatra, that's life.
That's life.
That's life.
That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm back on top in June. I said that's life.
That's life.
And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just ain't gonna buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth one single try, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I just pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life.
That's life.
That's life. And I can't deny it. Many times I thought of cutting out, but my heart won't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come this here July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Strangers in the Night.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you. Strangers in the night, two lonely people, we were strangers in the night, up to the moment when we said our first hello. Little did we know, love was just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. And ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight, in love forever. It turned out so right for strangers in the night. just a glance away, a warm embracing dance away. Ever since that night, we've been together, lovers at first sight. In love forever, it turned out so right, for strangers in the night. Doody-dooby-doo, do-do-do-dee-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing New York. New York.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. In a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. These little town blues make a brand new start of it in old New York. And if I can make it there, I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars, and let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. Song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing My Way.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friend, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full, I've traveled each and every highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do, I saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the highway, and more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall, and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a has he got? If not himself, then he has not the right to say the things he feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing The Way You Look Tonight.
Someday, when I'm awfully low, when the world is cold, I will feel a glow just thinking of you in the way you look tonight. Yes, you're lovely with your smile so warm and your cheeks so soft. There is nothing for me but to love you and the way you look tonight. With each word your tenderness grows, tearing my fear apart. And that laugh wrinkles your nose, touches my foolish heart. Lovely, never, never change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. It touches my foolish heart. Lovely, don't you ever change. Keep that breathless charm. Won't you please arrange it? 'Cause I love you just the way you look tonight. Just the way you look tonight.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Love and Marriage.
Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. This I tell you, brother, you can't have one without the other. Love and marriage, it's It's an institute you can't disparage. Ask the local gentry, and they will say it's elementary. Try to separate them. It's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by mother, you can't have one, you can't have none, you can't have one without the other. Try to separate them. It's an illusion. Try, and you will only come to this conclusion. Love and marriage go together like a horse and carriage. Dad was told by mother, you can't have one, you can't have none, you can't have one without the other. Freeze!
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing It's Life.
Did you hear about it? That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But I know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June, I said that's life. Funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stepping on dreams. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this old world, it keeps going around. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out. And I know one thing, each time I find myself flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. That's life. I tell you, I can't deny it. I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart just won't buy it. And if I didn't think it was worth a single try, why, I'd jump right on a big bird and then I'd fly. I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate, a poet, a pawn and a king. I've been up and down and over and out, but I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face, I pick myself up and get back in the race. Yeah, that's life. That's life and I can't deny it. Many times I thought of quitting, baby, but my heart won't buy it. But if there's nothing shaking come July, I'm gonna roll myself up in a big ball and die.
Next, we will hear Frank Sinatra singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. Next year all our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Once again, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who were dear to us will be near to us once more. Someday soon we all will be together, if the fates allow. Until then we'll have to muddle through somehow. So have yourself a merry little Christmas now.
Recommended videos, Frank Sinatra.
Recommended video, Frank Sinatra biography.
Recommended video, Frank Sinatra, American singer, actor, and producer.
Recommended video, Frank Sinatra, one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. I'm always available to NCU questions at drsydney22@gmail.com.
Now we will conclude with an inspirational song, Keep Right On to the End of the Road by the great Scot from many years ago, Sir Harry Lauder.
A long, long road filled with joys and sorrows too. As you journey on, how your path will yearn for the things most dear to you. With wealth and love to sow, but onward we must go. Keep right on to the end of the road, keep right on to the end. Though the way be long, let your heart be strong, keep right on. reached out half to a long steep hill, we may get there with a smile. With a good kind thought and an end in view, we may cut short many a mile. So let courage every day be your guiding star always. Keep right on to the end of the road. Keep right on to the end. Though the way be long, let your heart be strong. Keep right on round the bend. Though you're tired and weary, still journey on till you come to your happy abode. Where all you love, you've been dreaming of, will be there at the end of the road.
Thanks for watching. Please watch some more of my great videos.